Hey, Klara Adalena here at the Love for Life Academy. Christmas is coming. The time of love is coming. For women who are seeking love, especially when you're kind of at an age like, oh, why didn't it happen yet, right? There is this frustration and a bit of despair coming in. It's not an easy time, but it's also a beautiful time, a time to realign with what do I really want? We all know that when we manifest something, it's so much easier if we know what we want. But, I've been speaking to, I think, close to 1,200 women by now, maybe more, in-depth conversations. And what strikes me is so many women say, I've kind of forgotten. I don't know what it is anymore. I'm so much caught in the frustration of creating love that I hardly know anymore what it is that I really want. And maybe we've never known, or maybe we've always known. I hold that as a woman in her 30s who's successful in every other area of your life. I work with doctors, I work with dentists, lawyers, CEOs, women who know how to get stuff happening in their life, but somehow not in love. I hold that it's for a reason, and that actually often you know very well what love is. You know maybe better than most, and you're just not willing to settle. And all the people around you tell you, right? You just need to settle like we're all doing. Well, I have a different message. Don't settle. Hold out. Get help. Help is close. And I'm working more and more with the story of Psyche. Psyche was a princess in ancient Greece, and she was the most beautiful of three sisters. But the other ones got married before her because she was holding out for a different kind of love. This is a story about a woman finding a soulmate. And it begins with her feeling into what is it that I really want. And this is described beautifully in the story. She comes in a palace, there's a whole thing before it. But basically she lets go of expecting the normal thing. She just goes into the mountain, leaves the castle and being a princess, leaves everything behind, offers herself to the west wind, and the west wind is the one that kisses us to sleep, right? And the west wind brings her to a castle, and at night there is this amazing lover, Amor, or Eros, or Cupido. But he's only there at night, he isn't real. But that is where it begins. And once she knows what she's looking for, she can go on her journey. So what are we really looking for? What is love? If we stop thinking about the outer traits of a man, which is of course not what it is about, but if we start really thinking about love, a poem that I always love very much from Rumi, beyond the thoughts of well-doing and wrongdoing. Beyond the thoughts is a field. I will meet you there. To me, this is so true. Love is not what happens within the realm of the mind, of thinking, of right doing and wrongdoing. Love is something that happens beyond. And in the program that I use to help women move from being single to being with a soulmate, it begins with that space, finding that space beyond, that field, stepping out of, he did that to me, that wasn't right. She did that, that was really nice. It isn't just about your dates. It's also about your friends, your intimate colleagues, your trusted colleagues. So how do we step with them into that space of beyond, where we can meet each other? Because that's what needs to happen. For a spark to happen on a date, you need to really meet each other. But as long as the two of you are caught in your mind, it's not going to happen. So the first thing when you want to align again with love and what is it that I really want, is to understand that love is this mystery thing. The soulmate love, that's what I help women find, not just the practical love, but the practical life combined with the soulmate love. And it happens beyond the mind, beyond the thoughts, beyond right and wrong. And I get enthusiastic talking about it because it's so amazing to help women really get to that beyond place. And to help women see how in a normal relationship with your mom, with your friends, with your colleagues, there's actually a very simple practice that you can do to find that place of beyond. So that's where it begins. But love is more than that. Love is also being able to die into love, to die 1,000 deaths, right? That's what we all feel tells us something deep about love. How do we do that in the modern world? Again, once you see it all, it's quite simple, and it has everything to do with communication. Because in our talking, in our verbal exchange, we so often stay on that mind level. And we use our tactics, our games. If I say that, then he will do that. If I really show myself in that way, then he will stay. Mind. Nothing of that works. The only thing it creates is a jail. And you losing yourself, and somewhere down the line losing him. But it doesn't have to be that way. Love should not be a cage. Love should be opening cages all the time. Love should be opening windows into the big outer space. I guess that's why I like doing these sessions outdoors always. I'm just connected to something bigger, right? Love does that. But it means when we speak to stop doing those games and to start really saying as it is. And that's scary. I shared just now this morning in a Q&A session a story of that when I go to sleep, I like to really cover my head, and that my head is really warm and my shoulders are warm when I'm sleeping. Now, it's not so sexy, right? It's not that sexy. And then just to say, this is this new lover, but this is how I want to sleep. That asks a lot of courage. It means dying in a certain way, right? It means accepting, okay, if I am me, he might not like me. But I'm not going to pretend. I did that when I was younger, right? And I remember, though, I was really in love and everything was amazing, but I had a cold all the time. Lasted like a year, I think. I had a cold all the time. Until I realized I wasn't sleeping in my way. And it was just all too cold. And I got a cold. And it took me a year to discover that. Now, can you imagine if that's the attitude with which you enter a relationship? That's not going to end happy, right? It did not end happy. It ended very unhappy, actually. And that was one of the big reasons why I'm out here sharing this message to other women. We don't all have to make the same mistakes. In communication, saying it as it is, we take incredible risks. We make ourselves incredibly vulnerable. But the thing is, people appreciate that. And they go like, wow, that's powerful. She is taking risks. And a whole other dynamic starts happening. It's no longer about, oh, covering your head is not so sexy. It's suddenly about, wow, this is a woman who's really true to herself. And that's where I want you to go. That's where love is happening. And I'm having some exciting things coming up. So follow me, right? Like me, follow me. Join my group, The Art of a Relationship You Love. Christmas is coming, and let's make this an amazing, love-filled time of the year. Also for every single woman. Super excited. If you have any questions, reach out. Social media, Klara, Adalena, anywhere. Find me, and we can change this thing around. Once you know what you want, and you know the kind of love you want, and you understand that deep down, you have a deep understanding of love, it all becomes so much easier. Klara, Adalena at the Love for Life Academy. Thank you, and have an amazing day.